Elevate your hatching egg shipping business with Beyond the Egg. Discover the art of premium packaging, master the details of shipping, and create an unforgettable experience for your customers. Enhance your reputation, build lasting trust, and set your business apart as the gold standard. Visit beyondtheegg.com to begin your journey to excellence.
Welcome, poultry nerds. So we are going to discuss the Ohio National Show because I didn't go and I have refrained from asking Carey all of the good stuff so that he can tell all of us at the same time. So Carey, give it to me. Tell me all the juicy gossip.
I really had a good time, and this is my third year in a row going, and it's like become a thing. I see people that I talk to on the internet all the time because it's one of the biggest shows of the year. And I see them, we get to chit chat in person, stuff like that. So that's a pretty cool aspect of it. I took a 30-minute long video with my camera, walking up and down several of the aisles, looking at the birds. I'll probably have to edit parts of it out because I was judging the birds in my mind. That's the whole pass my Gamefowl judging test. So I started going up that row and I looked at the birds. I couldn't take them out, but I looked at them, made mental notes, and I went back after the judging to see what the cards say. And I was really close. I mean, you really can't judge a bird without touching it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But I'm going to have to do that because a lot of people, if you've never been, unless you're like in the room hearing the extreme number of birds crowing.
8,100.
Yeah. And like the people, and it's an atmosphere thing. It's really cool. Now, my anxiety was really high at some points because there's a lot of people there. But I mean, at least they're all chicken people. And I'll say this will give you an idea of the fate that I have in chicken people. Last year, I was like, okay, I'm going to pack up my stuff in my trailer, go to the hotel, go to bed early, get up, make the 500 and some odd mile drive home. I'll be good. Trailer gets broke into at the hotel. They get some of my inventory. They get a lot of my tools. Bam. This time, Jeff says, hey, there's no sense in us both driving. Do you have anything in your truck that you need? I said, in my backpack with my laptop. He was like, okay, grab that. We'll take mine back to the hotel. I left my truck in the parking lot at the fairgrounds. I didn't even have a scratch on it.
Okay.
I was so glad everything was still there and still locked up. But I got to meet a lot of people that were first time I'd ever met them in person. I had some poultry nerd stickers out on the table. And one person just, I see them walking by casually because I am a watcher. And they looked at the table and they stopped. And they looked at me and, you're Carey. I said, yeah, I love your podcast. I'm like, my people, they listen. I don't know if they all follow instructions, but they listen. And I mean, that made me feel really good. And I saw Bronwyn and a few other people that we've had on the show as guests. And some I met before, some I haven't. And I got to see her birds. And I will say she has made a lot of progress in the past year with her modeled ginormous birds. And, when I first got introduced to the model bird thing, I really wasn't that into it. But now I hate them less than some other types of birds. So, yeah. But, it's an atmosphere thing. I enjoy going. So we'll definitely be back next year. I had several people ask me about the show specials, and if I'm there, I'm going to do them. But it's a good time. Beautiful birds. The ones that won some of the places, I really like seeing the youth, because I mean, that's the future of any hobby, is the young people. But like some of those little kids standing in front of that big Ohio National sign with their trophy that's almost as big as they are, holding their bird, just proud as they could be. I'm like, yeah, it's cool.
So Michael, MJ's dad, sent me a picture yesterday of MJ, and he went up there just to do his showmanship with his Ankins. Did you see him up there?
Mm-hmm.
He won third in the junior showmanship.
And look, some of those kids are so serious. Like I saw them with lab coats that had their name on it.
He has one.
Probably an embroidery of one of their birds or the same type bird. That's cool. I really like seeing kids get into stuff and learn a lot about it. I always thought when my son was a teenager, people were like, I can't believe he does this and does that. I'm like, you know what? If he's spending a couple $1,000s on a hunting dog and $100 here or a couple $100 there on the chicken, I ain't got to worry about him with drugs and women because he ain't got enough money for neither one. And I can honestly say I never had a problem with either with him because he was too broke. But he loved his hunting and he loved his chickens.
So do you happen to know who came the furthest to get there? Yeah. I know they do travel all the way from the West Coast, though.
I do know there was a lady there from Canada. I'm not sure what part, but she had some really nice looking birds. And there was a big deal about that. Probably how she got them across the border. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because that's a challenge. But, the place was okay. I did hear rumors that the APA's like big annual national event is going to be there again next year. So that'll probably bring a whole lot of extra people. It might be another 12, 14,000 bird year. And got the show bug. I've never been a fan of it before because of all the tea that goes in with it. And which there's still some lines that I ain't crossing, but there's a show in December 2025, depending on when you're listening to this. And I've downloaded and printed out in entry form.
You said you weren't ever going to show.
Like I said, I've downloaded it and printed it.
Yeah. I did it for a while, and it's a lot of work. I mean, it's washing the bird. Well, you've got to keep the birds in condition. Then you have to wash the birds. Then you have to keep the birds clean after you wash them, but before the show. And then box them, travel with them. You got to take feed and water and baby wipes to keep them clean. And then you got to haul them in and cage them, and it's a lot of work. And then on top of that, all your normal stuff. And then somebody's got to be here to take care of your stuff while you're gone. I think I've pretty much decided that it just may be too much for me. You can't do everything. And that's one of those.
I have all intentions to take birds up there. I'm not saying that won't be the only time I ever do it. I'm not real big on using a baby wipe on a baby. So I'm going to have to just hope my bird don't have any accidents.
So Jerry Couch from Deep South Buff Orpingtons, he helped me a lot when I was getting started. And one of the tricks he told me was, those brushes that we had like in the 80s growing up and had like one spindle every half or 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. Those are the perfect size to go through the fluffy butts. So you can brush your chicken butt. So we bought a 2-pack on our way to the show, and I put one in my purse and then one in my chicken bag. And I took it out and was brushing my hair one day. And David just looks at me and is that the chicken ass brush?
And you probably looked at it and you were like, is this the extra one or is this the one that I actually used?
No, I knew what I was doing, but he just saw it was the same color.
Okay.
I have to say it was.
I know he didn't use it.
No, he didn't use it. So the sale barn is supposed to be as big as the show, right?
It definitely is. There was a lot to be seen in the sale barn. A lot. I don't know for sure about a count. I ain't going to say that there was 8,000 birds in there, but there was several thousand birds in there. And some of them were really nice looking. Some of them should have been a cull.
Well, somebody's cull is somebody else's cream of the crop, right? No, not
We'll
that.
go with that.
That one was chicken dinner.
We're being nice.
Okay.
So
you going back next year?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll go back. Even if just for the camaraderie and to see the people and the fact that it's going to be, if it is the APA's big one, I know there'll be a lot more people there. So yeah, I'll go. I might actually try to talk David into going.
No, he won't go. He doesn't care. He only cares about chickens because I care about chickens. You have better luck taking Tamara.
She's actually going with me to Knoxville.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then. So I guess the only last thing is how many days exactly is the show?
So this time, the show started at 9 on Saturday. Coop in was all day on Friday. Vendors were unloading their trucks, and exhibitors were, some of them bringing in chickens by the droves. One, I saw, if I wanted to do lots of showing, I saw what I would build. This dadgum, it is probably even a conditioning cage. Like, these birds stay in it from the time they wash them till the time they go to the show. So they can't get dirty. This thing's like 6 foot tall, 8 feet long, on wheels. And I want to say it had 5 tall and 7 across birds.
Silkies? Yes.
So I saw a lot of silkies in one, and I saw a lot of them moderns in another.
I love the moderns. They look like Barbie dolls to me. It's like they got the legs. Are they Barbie dolls?
I mean, it's like a chicken nugget with a head and legs.
Okay, what was the most interesting bird there that you hadn't seen before? Or was there one? Or just the most interesting bird?
I mean, I had seen most of them, but I will say this. This year is the first time, to my knowledge, that Gamefowl were in the Ohio show. And they had a couple rows of those. The owners were either don't know what they had or not being fully transparent, because the name that some of them had for breed wasn't what it was. Which is kind of funny and kind of not, because with the Gamefowl world, a lot of stuff has the name that they have given it. And that's not what the actual type and breed is of the bird. And a lot of people don't know. 2 weeks ago, I went to a Gamefowl show in Alabama. It was their annual fundraiser. Had a good sized turnout. And there was people showing birds that didn't even know a standard existed, which was tragic because a lot of them were very nasty with what they had to say about what the judge put on the ticket.
Well, if you're just getting started, I could see where, you're missing information and you don't know. So
True. But like when somebody tells you there's a standard that dictates everything about that bird, don't argue with them.
no, you should be open to learning when you go.
But I mean, there was some of that going on. There's definitely a difference, but I will say seeing Gamefowl at the APA show in Ohio was encouraging for people that do keep and breed gamefowl. And there were some that were pretty and some I wouldn't have brought.
It's okay.
There was a ton of moderns and there was a ton of silkies.
Well,
I will say this. So the bird that I saw that really stuck out is a Polish.
Okay.
Jet black, beautiful, white, no ball eraser head. Like, poof.
The crest was white.
Yes. The birds were all black, white crested, and like it just looked really clean to me.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a penguin in a tuxedo in one of the cartoon movies.
So I'm courting a Polish breeder to come onto the podcast. They're interested, but haven't fully committed yet.
That'll be fun. Because I've seen a lot of chickens in person, but I had never seen these, and I was unpacking some stuff, and this guy comes by with a cart that has a lot of them in boxes. He's got one in his hand. I'm like, was this your ride or die buddy that rode in the front with you? You've got like 10, 15 boxes on your cart. Was this an extra? Which apparently was a thing because one lady says, "Oh, I brought 15, but I'm going home with 26." Like, okay. But he was carrying that bird, and I thought it was pretty. I liked it.
There's a lot of neat birds, yeah. I hope everybody had fun. I hope everybody remembered to bring all their birds home. I saw somebody forgot one. And saw the post, but I think it all worked out. And
how did you forget your chicken?
Well, I think there was something else that happened there, like maybe that somebody else bought it and didn't get it, or I don't know exactly. I just saw the post.
No, I have heard of that happening. Like people buy birds and they're like, "I'm gonna pick it up on Sunday after awards," and they don't pick it up.
We'll be right back.
Looking to rock some seriously comfy gear? If you love chickens and you're all about that fun style, then Chicken Box has got the perfect t-shirts for you. From quirky designs to classic looks, their shirts are as comfy as us chicken tenders deserve. They even have a subscription service so your coop doesn't get bored. Head over to PoultryNerdsPodcast.com and click on Chicken Box to get your comfy shirts and support the podcast.
I think it all took care. It worked itself out on the post I saw. So, well, I'm glad you're home safe and everybody had a good time. And so I was working on finishing up my next feed trial while you were busy running the roads and talking to show people.
Feed trials is important.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do that.
So the commercial companies like Ross or Cobb, they're always running experiments and testing because it's all about the bottom line. It's about how much does it cost to get this bird to this point? What makes this bird a grade A quality chick versus this other bird? What parameters can change? And I'm not going to divulge all of what I'm doing right now, but I am working on some stuff on the side, and
I couldn't imagine you working on stuff on the side.
I am becoming more and more knowledgeable by the day with the commercial companies and how they operate. And so, like, one of the tests may be if you heat the incubator up just a little bit, can that speed the growth to cut back on the number of days in the incubator? Well, yes, you can make them grow a little quicker, but you always sacrifice chick quality. So there's these, these tests that they do and these parameters that they follow to get it exactly right. And if you're going to learn, then you learn from the companies that are spending the millions and millions of dollars to study this stuff.
That's just on research.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I read a book. Jeff told me, he said, look, if you really want to see how a breeding program is done on a large scale, look at one of those companies and search through their documents and see if you can't find a breeder manual. And I was like, okay. And I did. One of those companies has a 56-page guide for their breeders on how they want the bird raised from hatch to point of lay, everything from temperature, light type, light color, brightness, feed, the specifics on it, the bedding, every detail is in there. And that ran me down a rabbit hole one night that was insomnia driven. And I saw where a lot of research is also done in Africa, which is kind of a weird place, but apparently they study chickens a lot over there. And I find the individual studies where people study for 2 and 3 years the effects on different lighting on a chicken and what it does at different points, and down to how it affects the feed consumption, feed conversion ratios, fertility, everything. And I'm like, I thought I studied it a little bit. Like, these people really got granular. I'd like to have some funding that they had to do some study, because it was highly funded.
So chicken is one of those products, people eat chicken probably daily, if not every other day. And so there's a lot of money in chicken around the world. And so moving them through the process quickly is money driven. So feed trials, while I, of course, am not near on that scale, for me, I needed to know what feed that was available to me would do the best for my purposes. And so
that's fair.
To figure it out, the first thing you've got to do is know what your purposes are. So whereas the big companies, their purpose is how much weight can I put on this bird? And I think they've got it down to like 38 days or something now. My question is, yes, how much weight goes on this bird? But really, my biggest thing is, what is the fertility rate of my eggs and the vigor of those chicks when they hatch? Because the model of my business is shipping hatching eggs, and I ship so many of them that I need the customer to have viable eggs when they receive them, despite weather in the transit, despite treatment of the box in transit. It has so many obstacles that it has to get across that I need that embryo to be as strong and vigorous as possible when they receive it in order to make it grow and hatch and live vigorously.
You can only test hatch so much.
I can. I mean, I do have the ability to scale here to a point. I mean, I can't. My incubators, of course, don't hold the 100,000 eggs like the big Cobb incubators do. And to me, that's just awesome. I would just like to see one, in person. But I mean, that's like a whole room and they move the eggs on these big racks. Anyway, I digress.
What's the Quail Lady's videos?
Well,
She has some really large ones.
she does, but that's still, she's only hatching 50,000, 55,000. These are incubators
Only
that hold
50,000.
100 to 130,000 eggs, and they have entire buildings of these incubators.
Yeah, they're like a walk-in cooler.
Yes.
Only it's an
Well,
incubator.
So believe it or not, their incubators spend more time cooling than they do heating. They actually only heat for the first 7 days. And then day 7 to 14, they kind of maintain that, they call it that neutral zone. And then 14 to 21, they're actually cooling because the embryos are so exothermic on their heat production that the heat rises too high in the incubators and they have to keep cooling them down in order to keep them at the 37.8 degrees Celsius. It's pretty fascinating, the science. But anyway,
It sounds to me like you're taking a college course.
we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about my feed trial.
That's detail. But yes, it is fascinating at how some of these companies do it. And I see people asking all the time in different groups, how much should I charge for this? Well, if you don't know what your costs are and the profit margin that you would like to have, you don't know.
And it's not hard, but you do have to have a couple things. You have to have no waste feeders. And a lot of people don't have those. It's quail are just wasteful eaters by their very nature. So in order to have accurate results, you have to have no waste feeders.
And you got to weigh
otherwise-
everything.
Otherwise, you're just adding your waste into your cost. And that is not cost effective.
I would say it's great for the compost pile, but it's not cost effective.
Right. So we here, I brewed in tubs for the first 5 to 7 days. Well, depending on the weather. So let's say 7 to 10 days. And then I move them onto wire. They have no waste feeders. It's easier that way. And I can get a pretty accurate reading that way. The little tiny, less than 5 days, they don't waste a tremendous amount of food, not like the older ones do. But back to my feed trial. So all I wanted to do was compare the feeds that were available to me so that I could get the best fertility, the best vigor in the chicks, and it be cost effective and put weight on the birds at the same time. And I did that. I got the information. I got all the raw data. It's going to actually be published this week on bryantsroost.com, and you'll have.
Are you going to send out an email to all your subscribers?
I will. So if you want to be on
They
my
should definitely
email list, you
subscribe.
need to sign up for that. But you can go to bryantsroost.com, get actually at this point I have 2 feed trials published, so you can download both of them. And then I've also done a separate video explaining what I did, why I did it, and my take on the results. So, it's there if you want more information. And if you have different feeds available to you where you are, just buy 2 bags of feed. And the next time you hatch a set of chicks, just divide it in half and feed them separately and just weigh the feed. It's sounds easy. The concept is easy. Tracking it, weighing it, not being distracted when the phone rings or the kid walks in the room or the chick runs by on the floor and you go figure out where he belongs to, because I had chicks escape yesterday or everywhere. So it sounds simple, but in theory, but in practicality, it's not. It's kind of tedious.
And so if you do what she said and decide to hatch 2 brooderfuls, not 1, and all of that good stuff, and you get in trouble, it's Jennifer@Bryant'sRoost.com. Not that we're enablers or anything, but if you have one, everybody likes their feed or wonders about it. So if you have a feed that you like or that you wanted to try, look at her feed study, see all the different data that she gathers, see what's important to you, put your tinfoil hat on and start tracking.
Yep. And maybe there's hearing some talk about another feed called Blue Bonnet. I guess it's available on Chewy. Maybe that's something I've never used it, but maybe that's something I can do next summer. Now, I have to do my feed trials in the summer because shipping season is just absolutely too chaotic to try to do anything. And in the fall, I'm trying to whittle down my chicken numbers. This year, we had to whittle down over 200 to get them off the feed bill before winter. There's just a lot going on in the fall. So I have to do the feed trial in the summer when I have space and a little bit more time. And then it takes more time to sit and work all the numbers and write everything up and make it look.
I was saying, in shipping season, you don't even know if you ate that day, much less how much, and have time to track what your birds ate or how much they weigh. During shipping season, you don't really care as long as they're maintaining.
Yeah, today I'm hatching and sorting, getting ready for shipping season. And I went out to the barn, I don't know, about 9 o'clock or so this morning. I had a piece of toast on my way out there. And it was like 2:30. And I was like, good Lord, what's wrong with me? And I realized I needed to come back in and eat breakfast. And so I had some scrambled eggs because we have a multitude of eggs.
You can, when you have chickens,
Yes,
you should have eggs.
Yep. Alrighty. So don't forget to check that out. By the time you hear this, it will be live on Bryant'sRoost.com. And if you
go to PoultryNerdsPodcast.com and subscribe.
Please.
You can get all the latest tidbits on stuff that we're working on.
And we will be back next week.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you for joining us this week. Before you go, be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you can receive new episodes right when they are released. And they're released every week. Feel free to email us at poultrynerds@gmail.com to share your thoughts about the show. Until next time, Poultry Pals, keep clucking, keep learning, and keep it exciting. This is Carey signing off from Poultry Nerds. Feathers up, everyone.